A quiet Sunday afternoon around Washington, D.C. was interrupted by a loud boom. The moment was captured by home security cameras and vloggers working on the next folk music sensation. The first word from official sources was the noise was a sonic boom caused by military jets doing an exercise. Then word emerged of the crash of a civilian airplane in the mountains near Staunton, Virginia. Was it related to the sonic boom? Was the government lying to us? Social media lit up with questions and conspiracy theories, and in some cases, actual facts. So let's focus on the facts and try to piece together what actually happened here. A Cessna Citation with tail number N611 Victor Golf, owned by Encore Motors, launched out of Elizabethton, Tennessee, bound for MacArthur Airport on Long Island. There were 4 souls on board: a pilot, the daughter and granddaughter of John Rumpel, who's the owner of Encore Motors, and a nanny. The flight path readout shows the airplane accelerated to about 500 miles per hour as it climbed up to 34,000 feet, headed up the East Coast towards Long Island. Over the destination, the airplane suddenly made a left turn and steadied up on a southwesterly heading. The Citation pilot wasn't answering comms from air traffic control, and the flight path was taking the jet right over the heart of Washington, D.C. Fearing the potential of a terrorist event, the FAA jumped on the hotline to NORAD, and NORAD scrambled 2 F-16s out of Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland, just outside of D.C., call sign Brave, and 2 F-16s out of Atlantic City Air National Guard Base, call sign Cosmic. The standard loadout of Air National Guard alert aircraft is 2 AMRAAM medium-range active missiles, 2 AIM-9 Sidewinder heat-seeking missiles, just over 500 rounds of 20mm bullets, and a full bucket of chaff and flares. Coincidentally, President Biden was at Andrews Air Force Base playing golf with his brother Jimmy when the F-16 scrambled. The Citation overflew D.C. at 15:05 Eastern Daylight Time before the F-16s could prosecute the intercept. Brave flight out of Andrews reached the Citation first at 15:20 local time. The F-16 flight lead transmitted to Huntress, the NORAD controlling agency, that he couldn't see anyone in the cockpit. Behind them, the Cosmic flight out of Atlantic City asked for and received permission to go supersonic to catch up to the other F-16s, thus creating the boom heard from Annapolis to Leesburg. As discussed in my What It's Like to Fly Supersonic episode, a sonic boom is created when an airplane travels faster than the speed of sound, creating a shock wave that collapses behind the airplane, which is what makes the noise. If done at low altitude, a sonic boom can break windows and do other property damage, which the military found out the hard way in the early days of supersonic flight. So now it's only permitted when you're more than 30 miles off the coast or in a dedicated warning area like those around Nellis Air Force Base or Fallon Naval Air Station. But in the case of a national emergency, perceived or otherwise, military jets are granted permission to go supersonic. And because these jets were at high altitude when they passed through Mach 1, there was a noise but no associated property damage to speak of. So once they effected the intercept, the first move was to fly in front of the corporate jet while dropping flares in an attempt to get the pilot's attention. As they flew formation on the Citation, Cosmic Flight relayed to Huntress that he could only stay airborne for another 30 minutes unless they launched a tanker, and Huntress replied that no tanker would be available. Shortly after that, the Citation entered a circular dive. The airplane descended at nearly 29,000 feet per minute and hit an unpopulated mountain area outside of Staunton, Virginia. There was little fire at the crash site, which generally means the airplane was out of gas when it impacted the ground. The flight profile is consistent with those seen when the occupants experience hypoxia due to rapid decompression in the cabin. This is what happened in 1999 when the Learjet carrying legendary golfer Payne Stewart crashed in South Dakota after flying the width of the country on autopilot. After the event, NORAD released a press release, and some of the key phrases here are the second paragraph: the NORAD aircraft were authorized to travel at supersonic speeds, and a sonic boom may have been heard by residents of the region. Third paragraph: during this event, the NORAD aircraft also used flares, which may have been visible to the public, in an attempt to draw attention from the pilot. Flares are employed with highest regard for safety of the intercepted aircraft and people on the ground. Flares burn out quickly and completely, and there is no danger to the people on the ground when dispensed. They also put a finer point on the crash site, identify it as the George Washington National Forest in Virginia. As was the case following 9/11, NORAD and the Air National Guard squadrons will certainly be doing an after-action review to assess how they might better respond in the future. As with the events of 9/11, the fighters didn't get to the threat aircraft in time to prevent an attack on, in this case, Washington, D.C. Fortunately, this wasn't a terrorist attack, but appears to have been a mishap caused by hypoxia, which is tragic for the family involved, but not a national emergency that could put us back on a war footing. As they always do following aviation mishaps, the NTSB is doing a finding of root cause, and as those findings emerge, we'll keep you posted. So if you're not already a subscriber, become one so you don't miss anything. And if you'd like to help support the channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icon below, or become a patron at patreon.com/WardCarroll. And if you can make it to Annapolis on July 15th, I would love to see you at our second annual Muchapalooza, featuring a showcase by my new band, Danger Boy. As it was last year, this is going to be another great gathering of patrons, subscribers, fans of the channel, and friends. So check the link for tickets in the episode description below. Quantities are limited, so act now. And in the meantime, I look forward to talking to you again very soon.